Welcome to the Home Building Hub, your essential podcast guide to building your new home. Hosted by industry experts Colin Bischoff and Darren Brennan, this conversational podcast will help better educate you about all things new home building so you can avoid costly mistakes and enjoy your building experience to the fullest, no matter which home builder you choose.
Hey there, folks. Welcome to the Home Building Hub. You're with Colin and co-host Darren Brennan as always. And today we're going to reveal, Darren, the very best way to get the very best land deals out there right now. So, firstly, Daz, how you going today, mate? You all right?
Yeah, going good, mate. Real good. Yeah, looking forward to this little short, sharp episode, mate. I think the last one was right in my wheelhouse. This one's right in yours, mate. So
Love it.
Let's rip in and give away a few secrets on how to get an absolute bargain out there right now. And there are, can I say, bargains to be had. Some of the land pricing I've seen in some of the areas at the moment is the best I've seen in years, like years. The clock's been wound back in a lot of places, but they're not going to last. We had Ben on a couple of weeks ago saying the minute the market turns, you watch pricing, these discounts, rebates, other bits and pieces will start to disappear as that stock's absorbed. So, now is the time to buy, and certainly these are some of the tips that are going to help you find the best deal that's out there. So, mate, Take it over, mate. All to you.
Beautiful. Okay, so we're not just going to, sell how urgent it is to buy a block of land. We will give you, I guess, what sort of purchases you can make in terms of land, where you can buy land from, and the types of blocks that you can buy in terms of the sales process. We're going to talk about a couple of mistakes that people make. So we'll give you the education to better equip you to make sure that you are buying the right block of land for you. The short answer, mate, honestly, the best way to get the best deal on a block of land for your investment, for your home you're going to live in, your first home, whatever it may be, is to go through a new home building sales consultant, or whatever you want to call it. A builder who has a sales consultant in a display village or out there online with a company like ours, whatever it is, talk to them. And the simple reason is because they know what they're looking for. Okay, so you have to understand that a lot of people buy blocks of land without knowing anything about site costs, anything about compliance, anything about setbacks, all that sort of stuff. So please go to a salesperson or a sales consultant from a builder or two or three. They will know and they will find you the best block for your circumstances. Now, the first thing to cover in terms of, helping you understand the process here, what sort of purchase options are available? So when you buy a block of land, you can buy what we'd call just a normal sale or a normal land contract through a developer directly. So that's if you're walking into a land office and you're buying a titled or a non-titled block of land. Titled meaning ready to build on, untitled meaning it's still a farm, it's being developed, not yet ready to build on. But you can put a deposit down, you sign a contract, you don't actually have to settle on it because it's not yet ready. Okay, so that's the normal process that most people probably do, Darren, historically. Okay, the next one is what we call a resale block. So that's when essentially you buy from a vendor who owns that block, generally through a real estate agent. No different to buying an established, or what do you call it, Darren? A second-hand home?
Second-hand.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically it means that vendor, that person, somebody already bought that block of land, they settled on the block of land, and now they're selling it again, okay? Or selling it on to someone like yourself, okay? So that's option number 2. Option number 3, which is increased in popularity because you can get good deals, but you can also run into some headaches and some issues, nomination blocks, okay? So a nomination block essentially means that a purchaser has paid a deposit, they've signed a contract, and they have not yet settled on that block. Okay, so it could be untitled. In most cases, it's untitled. Maybe they can't afford to settle on the block. Maybe they've changed their mind. Whatever it be, they can now nominate their contract over to a new individual, and that individual can sign over the contract at that contract price, whenever that was. So, for example, if someone signed a contract in 2022 for 2022 pricing, but they can't afford to settle on it, and the titles are coming up, Darren, next month or the month after, someone can come in and be the nomination and take over that contract, and they can sign it off and get 2022 pricing. So that's where it's actually a really good deal and really good bargain in some cases. If they had bought it at a higher price where the land is at, let's say 2022 was really, really high land pricing, and now today you could buy a normal block for 10, 20 grand, 30 grand cheaper, then you probably wouldn't go and nominate over. Okay, so nominations are pretty popular, but they take a couple of extra steps, and it's got to go through a conveyancer. Only get a nomination if it's contract price. Some people will want you to pay them extra money on the side, as we have covered some of this in a previous episode or two, Darren.
Yeah,
But it is important for you to understand through a conveyancer, you'll pay your deposit into the conveyancer's trust. The conveyancer will then arrange the settlement and then release the deposit to the original person who paid their deposit, who doesn't want the land anymore. Okay, so they're the three options: normal, resale, nomination.
for sure. And I guess you know, how do you facilitate those really is probably the key, Colin, right? So I think number one, you're on the money, Cole, with talk to the builder's rep, like I know I was chatting to a client myself just during the week about some land. It was in Ballarat, and this land is an absolute bargain, but you can't find it. If you didn't know about it, you don't know about it. So it's being sold actually by a real estate agent in Melton, so it's a long way away. There's none of it's online, so you're not going to find it online. The only way you're going to find it, and I can tell you, if I showed you on my phone, I've literally got a picture of the plan of subdivision with the prices written on it. Like that's how this is really raw way of buying it. But if we can connect you with the right person, and in this case it's a real estate agent, and he's selling that block of land or those number of blocks of land, then it's just putting you into the hands of the right person. And I'm going to say that purchase would save you 40 grand off what you're paying elsewhere in Ballarat right now. So
We
it's an
see
absolute
that
steal.
all the time. And it's like in normal real estate market, it's called buying off market. It's like getting
Yeah,
access to the listing before it becomes listed. We
absolutely.
we in our industry, like good sales consultants, good operators, will have connections with land agents, and they will get first dibs on blocks that come back that are up for sale through a real estate agent, or that are via nomination, even back through a developer. We had one through the week, Darren, a little block out in Lara, $194,800
Yeah,
nomination.
where do you
So
find that?
we're snapping that up. Like
Yeah,
that's what we do for our clients in not just us, but that's what we as in new home sales consultants do for our clients. Like we
yeah,
know the areas, we know the blocks, we know what's good price, we know what's. So if you're looking for a good deal, go through them because they'll find one for you.
indeed.
Saves them a lot of time too.
So
Yeah.
the consultant's going to send you into the land office. They're going to check out the website with you. They're going to help you with that. They're going to, work with the developer. They're going to know what discounts are available often, or at least help you push for a little bit more of a discount right now. So, in that buying direct from a land developer point, they're going to help you guide you through that. They're also going to have a look at the engineering plan, make sure it's the right block, see it's going to suit the house, particularly these days, given 7-star, etc. So they're going to really guide you through that. So that's number one. Number two, you can jump on realestate.com, domain.com as an example, and there are resellers selling blocks on there, and a lot of those are really cheap. They've bought them, they've got a little bit of margin on those, they're reselling those, but also these same land agents are often selling them on there, and they might have their promotion highlighted on that, so you can pick them up there. Another place to look, Facebook Marketplace is an absolute ripper for this sort of stuff, particularly for nominations. But I'm seeing even some of the developers now starting to sell them there. Gumtree, Colin, we're both a member of the Property Insights Australia Facebook page. It is you need to request to join it, so it's a private Facebook group. It's got about 10,000 members, run by a good friend of ours, Atul Sharma, and he's forever got nominations popping up on there. And again, there's great opportunity, to pick up a block through, a portal like that, I guess. And if you may need to narrow down your search a bit to make sure that you're getting into that. If you go a broad search, harder to find, narrow right down to the absolute area where you want to be. And that will certainly help. You can try things like openlot.com. That'll also help guide you in that. I can tell you, Ben mentioned the other week, if you're talking to some of the builders now have access to a product through Core, who Ben Stewart works for, called Grip. That'll do a full search of all the blocks in the area and show you what the best value of that is. So, again, the guys in the display homes or online often have these tools that'll really help you pinpoint what's going to be the best value for money land out there. So, use them to be your best friend to help you along that journey, and they'll help guide you to the right block, hopefully avoid any headaches, and you'll be, really pleased with the price you're able to pick up that block of land for. So, yeah, that's certainly going to help. I guess a couple of the mistakes people make, Colin, is don't just buy a block because it's cheap, because sometimes there's going to be reasons why that block's cheap. And, we see it often with fall. It can have excessive fall on the blocks. All of a sudden, the build cost, you may not even be able to build on the damn thing. Like, it could be significant to that sort of level. The site conditions itself could be terrible. So it could have been an old dam site, for example. On our last episode, we are talking about slab movement. It could have had trees on it. So things like that, you could be paying significantly extra for site costs. So be really mindful. The cheapest always isn't the best. Understand what it is. Could have a power substation on it. It may be advertised as a regular block, but it might have a building envelope on it that's tricky. So these sort of conditions are going to, I guess, be part of the reason why that block may, and I say may, be significantly cheaper than others. So, ask lots of questions. If it's too good to be true, why? Right? And it might well be true still. Fantastic if that's the case. If you've ticked off all the boxes and said, hey, this is the right block and I'm really confident of what I'm getting, then fantastic. But if you've got any question marks, ask more questions. What other
Absolutely.
mistakes, Colin?
Yep. Yeah, so I think that the biggest tip at the top of this was if you're going to buy a block, go through a new home sales consultant because they know where to get good blocks and they know how to look at the site costs and things like that. So the biggest mistake is the exact opposite of that, not going through a new home sales consultant. And that's because of the things that Darren said about site conditions and things like that. If I dive deeper into that, it's also, the everyday punter does not understand side setbacks, setback requirements, MCPs. They don't understand compliance. They don't understand, how much of the boundary you can build a wall on and things like this. All these formulas and compliance things that we need to know. And that's what we're here for. They're the things that
Also,
I see all the time because at the moment, Darren, affordability is a bit of an issue. So people are starting to move and have done for ages into those smaller lots. And some of those they're under 300 square meters, right? So there's a different set of rules here in Victoria for lots under 300 square meters, and that's called the Small Lot Housing Code. And when you're triggering something like that, I see it all the time. People go, because real estate agents have a habit of advertising north facing as an amazing thing, right?
yeah,
If you buy a block under 300 square meters and it's north facing, let me tell you, there's a portion of your backyard that needs to be 4.6 meters deep. And on a block that's only 21, perhaps maybe if you're lucky, 25 meters deep, that's a pretty big component. So you have to redesign your entire home just to accommodate this unshaded requirement. Don't expect anyone to understand that. As I say it down, what I'm trying to do is get you to understand that it's complex and you
yeah.
need us to review these sorts of things, get a design that works, complies with private open space, complies with setbacks, complies with unshaded requirements on small lots, but also even the ones over 300 square meters, making sure the boxes have been ticked before you go and deposit on a block of land or really think that it's worth the price.
Some of those also, Cole, would be estate covenants pickup. I saw one just recently where one of the covenants was you had to have eaves all the way around the home. So again, meant you had to have a skinny house if you wanted to comply or go for report and consent. Essentially permission from the council to build outside the building regulations. So
Yep.
that will be one. I looked at a block yesterday, and you're talking just a completely different type of block. It was a rural block, and it was in a bushfire management area, lots of trees and stuff. And you had to have a bunker before you could get to escape a fire before you could get a building permit. So again, this is stuff
Wow.
that can get you caught. You go, oh, what a great block. Look how good it is. All these trees, going to be amazing. Holy crap, I've got to build a bunker so that I don't die if there's a bushfire. And no one would have picked up on that. This person was so thrilled about the block. So that's why you want to talk to
Yeah.
the experts to try and guide you on that. Look at that information, and
Yep.
find out as much info as possible. So
Yeah.
sorry to cut
So
you off.
there are definitely good deals out there. but you just got to get it qualified, because the
Yeah.
amount of times we see people buy a little block or any block for a really good price, they think, and then they get smashed with site costs at 20, 30, 40, 50K because they didn't realize it's got 2 meters of fall, or it's got side fall and retaining walls they haven't thought about, and all these things that I guess you're not expected to know, but we are, and we do. So that's what this episode's about, just highlighting a few things. Here's the types of blocks that you can buy. Here's how you can buy them, but here's the process in which you need to go through to make sure you buy it properly, confidently, and make sure, most importantly, that you can fit a design on that block that you're happy with. Whether it's investment, first home, or owner occupied, it doesn't matter. Like, you still want to make sure the design you put on the block is going to work. So in order to do that, you need to marry them up together, the land part, the build part. Don't commit to either until you've got a basic or general understanding of both, is what we always say, Darren, in previous episodes. So
I think also, Cole, right now, there are some of the best deals that I've seen in a long time are out there right now. So they won't be around forever, but they are around right now. And just make sure you're getting the best deal for yourself whilst shopping for a block of land.
Yep. Or continue listening to Uncle Gary, as we covered with Ben, because he'll keep telling you to wait for the interest rates to drop and wait for this and wait for that. And Uncle Gary probably hasn't even got his own home or investment property as yet. So take advice from family and friends, but only to a point. Combine it with advice from industry experts as well.
Yep.
Please do that. People might take that the wrong way, but that's just the truth. Hopefully that helps.
Great, man.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you. Hopefully that was jam-packed with value for you. And as always, if you love what you're hearing, 5-star review for us, please, on the platform you're listening on. Any topic ideas, any feedback or questions, homebuildinghub.com.au. Jump on there, go to contact us. And we look forward to seeing you guys on the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Home Building Hub. As part of the podcast, we have to be a little careful to cover ourselves on a legal standpoint. So we do have a disclaimer. Whilst we're all about providing value to you, this podcast should not be considered legal or financial advice. It does contain general information only, and you should seek out independent professional advice on your own personal situation before you make any legal or financial decisions.
1